Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the I'm Always Serious News' Sunday paper program. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the land, not a congressman was near, nor Obama and his clan. The stocks were all climbing, but Wall Street still didn't care, and our hopes were tied to a hillbilly. There. When all of a sudden I heard such a clash, the hillbilly was knocking gaze, who the Pope said, "Don't bash." The Christians all called for Christ to come back, while Scrooge snuck along and put Target in his sack. And in the end, I could hear the fat man say, "I'm stronger than the storm," as the waves took him away. This story and more on tonight's edition of the I'm Always Serious Sunday paper program.
It's the I'm Always Serious News Network with Dan Mahan, John Smarmy, Tim Eli, and Darren Martinez.
In national news, folks, this year's biggest flu story is the affluenza outbreak in Houston, Texas. Apparently, a 16-year-old rich brat stole a couple cases of beer and with a truckload of his friends went driving around drunk. They eventually ended up on the sidewalk where they ran over and killed 4 pedestrians. His blood alcohol level was 3 times the legal limit. Yet despite all this, he was recently sentenced to only 2 years of a stint in a $450,000 a year treatment center paid for by his parents, followed by 10 years of probation. Why? The reason being was because he suffered from affluenza, which is basically makes kids of affluent families think the laws of society don't apply to them. Well, we taught him a lesson, didn't we? Meanwhile, a Houston father of 3 was sentenced to 10 years to life, folks, for getting caught stealing a loaf of bread and a bottle of Robitussin to feed and treat his ailing son. And handing down the sentence, the same judge said, "Everyone knows you starve a cold and feed a fever." Cracker, please. Guilty. That's how they work down there. But speaking of inbreeding, A&E's hit show Duck Dynasty, folks, is quacking up. Finally, family patriarch, father and brother to his kids, was suspended for equating gays with bestiality. Now, after generations of inbreeding, it's no surprise to us to hear such quotes from them. When your only contact, folks, is your socially and romantically is within your own family tree, that's the kind of ignorance that's fostered. Besides, think about it. If the only thing you hear from the time you wake to the time you go to sleep is that goddamn banjo picking, wouldn't you be crazy? Cracker, please. The federal government is now playing games with the citizens of the U.S. Literally playing games, as in Halo and Call of Duty, Black Ops. That's right. Why, you ask? To catch terrorists. Why else? Cracker, please. Though they haven't reported any luck in catching a terrorist this way, they have been able to get 5 young punks in trouble at home for using foul language. So, hey, there we go, NSA. Can't go wrong. And Target, folks, this week was found out to have been targeted. That's right. Over 40 million people's accounts for credit cards were hacked away. Some of them being used already to buy gifts. Go figure. Apparently, the Canadian Mounties are now questioning the Grinch, since they called him up the North Pole at the end. You know what I'm saying? And finally, for national news, the Obamas are in Hawaii for Christmas. And keep searching for the president's birth certificate, just in case it comes up. In international news, folks, the Italians gave themselves a scare when they gave a convicted serial killer a weekend furlough to go visit his sick mother. Mamma mia. Surprisingly, he didn't return from this furlough. I mean, he's only been locked up for 30 years at this point. But they did end up finding him over in France, where they let him roam around for a few days before bringing him back into custody. The great peacemaker Nelson Mandela passed away recently. And, of course, during his funeral, it was found out that the person supplying the sign language for the different speeches by the world dignitaries had no clue what he was doing. Unlike our very own Smarmy, who is offering his services to us tonight, so those of you who are hearing impaired can understand what the hell we're saying. Professional, right? That's the ticket. I knew this when I was young. That meant crazy, and that meant black. That's the only one I know. But that guy didn't even get those right. Well, here's to you, Nelson, and thanks for your services to the world. Pope Francis delivered his annual Christmas address and surprised the crowd when he said Jesus told him to get me the hell out of Christmas. So the Pope right away instructed the rest of the church to now start calling it Xmas again. Xmas. Happy Xmas to you. Speaking of Xmas, Canada has claimed the North Pole, folks. Canada has claimed the North Pole. Apparently they get some of their mineral rights. And in related news, the Canadian Mounties have recently arrested Santa and Rudolph. Yeah, Santa and Rudolph were arrested up at the North Pole, newly claimed by Canada. Apparently the charges were drug distribution with intent to deliver. It's the red nose, gave it away, the red nose. No doubt. And more Christmas news, the Miser Brothers are at it again. That's right, folks, the Miser Brothers. Here down south in the United States of America, we have witnessed 3 snowstorms and a 70-degree day. 70-degree day, all before Christmas. Mother Nature, get your kids in line up there. Now, more on the international scene, we're going to go to our own John Smarmy with Smarmy's Eye on the World. John?
Thanks, Dan. By the way, doesn't Dan Mahan already look like Santa Claus? I wouldn't mind sitting on his lap. But enough of my fantasies. Let's get to the news. A swimmer survived 3 days underwater. And how he did it, he was Nigerian. He used his big black Nigerian penis as a snorkel. That's how he did it, folks. A man is accused of $185,000 burglary spree to feed 120 cats. Men would do anything to be surrounded by pussy. That's a hack joke. Don't laugh at it, folks. Saturday Night Live finally caved and added a black female cast member after being accused of racism, after people have been saying, how come there are no female black cast members? This white guilt has got to stop, people. We have got to stop hiring people based on their color and their talents, but who cares about my opinion? I'm just smarmy. That's all I am. A mystery diner customer leaves Kentucky Applebee's waitress a $200 tip. Well, that's the Applebee's knees for she's. Smarmy's hip. He gets it. Kids. Classic Craigslist ad of the week says, it reads, 2 unicorns for sale for $930,000. We are selling 2 purebred unicorns. Serious inquiries only, please. I emailed them and said, can I give you guys $600,000? They wrote back, no. This is not serious. Who would buy some unicorns? Come on, people. Enough of that. Speaking of Craigslist, I want to dedicate my segment tonight to my favorite black hooker, Jasmine. So, Jazz, if you're down there, that's 2 inside. You won't get that. Who gets that? Nobody. And finally, I just want to say that the Northeast Comedy Cabaret finally opened this week after a 2-week hiatus. They finally fixed the fire alarms. Damn it, now we gotta wait another 2 weeks because of Christmas and New Year's. But I like that one comedian that goes in the back of the hotel. What's his name? The one that screams out all the C-word rape jokes? That's my favorite guy.
Cool.
Yeah, whatever his name is. That sounds like a racial slur. But Dan, that is all I have for tonight. So Santa, after I sit on your lap, take it away. What else do you got, Dan, on the show?
In local news, folks, the city of Philadelphia has already had 3 snowstorms prior to Christmas. 3 snowstorms. And where is Stormy Flats when we need her? Where is she? We don't know. But also, the city of Philadelphia had to recently break this contract agreement with a repair shop down in South Philly that was run by a 3-time convicted killer from the mob. Yeah, and on top of that, they've changed the name of South Street to North Street. That was Mayor Peanut Butter's idea, by the way. We here at the iOS News, folks, also have our own Christmas traditions and celebrations. And to give us a share of his ideas at Christmas, our very own Tim Eli with Reflections on the Holidays. Tim?
Thank you, Dan. Ho, ho, ho! No, that's not me doing Santa Claus. That's me calling a slut because it's dinner time. Anyway, let's get back to Christmas in the Eli Emporium. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. And you want to know why? She took the fucking TV, she took the fucking DVR, she took the fucking Lazy Boy. All right, well. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. Because she took the fucking clothes dryer. That's the only way I could dry the fucking socks, my underdrag. All right. Let's. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. 'Cause she took the fucking Easy Pass. She took the fucking car. My inline skates. She took my... I'm sorry. Frosty the Snowman was a jolly happy... 'Cause he wasn't married to you bitch! You remember that time on my birthday? You said I could do anything I wanted to your body? I said, yeah, I wanted to identify it in the frickin' more... I can't do this no more. Damn, I can't do this no more. Let's go back to...
In sports, it's finally down to the last week for the Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys, folks. Dallas pulled out a slippery win against the Washington Redskins today, leading to the season-ending showdown, which, by the time we see this, the Eagles will be in the playoffs. Cracker, please. Cracker, please. The Flyers also have had their ups and downs. They're still hovering around 500 hockey. And with the Sixers, who gives a damn? That's what we say here. What else we got going? You know, the NFL now is thinking about eliminating tackles below the knee because of Rob Gronkowski from the New England Patriots blowing out his knee a few weeks back and missing the rest of the season. What are we going to baseball here? We're going to have a strike zone somewhere below the neck and above the belt? Come on, Cracker, please. But speaking of baseball, they're now eliminating the slide into the catcher at home plate. What the hell? The slide is out? Yeah, it's going to be the old slider surrender rule, is it? You know what I mean? If you can't make it in there safely. And I guess each dugout will now be equipped with a keg of beer, just like they do in the softball leagues. Yeah. Progression. Well, that's about it for sports, folks. That's about all I can take with this sports nowadays. Because football's no longer football. Baseball's now no longer baseball. And basketball and the Sixers, who gives a damn? But for some entertainment for you, we have our Christmas holiday film review with our very own Darren Martinez. Darren?
Holidays are here, and everyone loves watching holiday films over the holidays. What's your favorite film?
Actually, it's Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase. Excellent film. Unfortunately, that's not on my list, but that's only because I didn't have the DVD to bring in today. But I do have some films I want to recommend, and these are only because these are films that I own, and I had to grab a couple on my way out, and these are the first ones I grabbed. So let's talk about them. The first one, Home Alone. Everyone loves Home Alone.
Classic.
Great film.
Yeah.
Made in the early 90s.
I watch it every year, too.
Yep. Smarmy, what do you think about Home Alone?
It's fantastic.
Excellent film. This is actually one of my earliest movie theater experiences I can remember with my dad. Very fun time. Another film I want to recommend is Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger, just because it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he says, "Put that cookie down now." That was written for him in the script. So that's the reason to watch that. And then the third film I want to recommend is, of course, A Christmas Story, classic.
Oh, yeah.
You can watch it all day, as most people do on Christmas. But, you know, besides the holidays, this weekend, there was a film that just came out, Anchorman 2, the sequel to The Anchorman, which I want to recommend you guys go out and check out Anchorman this weekend along with these holiday films. Part 2, I don't know. I don't think it was as funny as the first one. Still funny, a lot of laugh out loud moments, but...
Well, most of us are so much advertising on TV, people are probably burned out.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I mean, he traveled the globe as Ron Burgundy and did everything. I mean, he was even in, like, toilet bowl commercials and stuff like that. So, I mean, it could be a whole burnout thing. I don't think it opened up number one, so,
I
we'll
read it in today's paper, it opened up 3, third for the weekend.
Yep, didn't open up strong. Second one, not as good as the first one. Remember, guys, I want you to go out and watch Christmas Story, Jingle All the Way, and Home Alone.
And Planes, trains, and automobiles. There's no
Planes, trains, and automobiles. Back to you, Dan.
Well, now we'll wrap up our show for this evening. I'm glad you watched. Hope you come back and catch our next episode. And happy holidays to everybody out there from the iOS News team. A big thanks to Darren, to John Smarmy, and Tim Eli. Also, we'd like to give an update and say our friend and co-worker John Rice is in recovery mode at the hospital. Keep up the good work, John. Hope you're out by the new year. Good night, everybody.
Nose reindeer, ho, had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer,
Which ones?
we used to laugh and call him names like fuck nuts. They never let